Off with three questions, Impa. So obviously, I know you spoke about how Josh was going to come in, and it wasn't going to be like the first fight. But I also specifically want to point to the third round. It really seemed like you dug deep and used your fight IQ there. What was Coach Dieter and company telling you going into the last round?
Coach Dieter just got on me. He said, "Hey, don't get hit with shots you don't get hit with," which I did. Josh is a good fighter. I always say he's a great fighter. And for me, it was like, whatever you got to do to claim his victory. I just want that finish. I haven't finished him yet. So I told him we could fight. He was talking after the fight. I said we could fight here or anywhere. I got to finish him. But it's not so much about him or anything like that. He's a solid fighter and he's got a solid chin. And I'm going to keep getting better. Very grateful. Very grateful to claim the victory. And looking forward to getting this title this year.
And then I know this is probably the last time you fought in Florida was for the PFL Challenger Series.
Yeah.
And then now you're back in Florida, got to fight in front of a lot of your friends and family. How important is it for you to have that support back home for this fight?
Man, I'm so grateful. Everybody from my church, kids from the gym, my parents are here, my brother, my cousins surprised me. Very surprised me, man. I'm very grateful that they came. The guys that I grew up with, all three of us are a year apart. Man, I'm just so blessed, man. To move back to Florida, moved back December 3rd, 2020. With one focus in mind of being a champion. So now I'm going to do it twice, really three times, because I won that Johnny Upland fight, which I always let y'all know about. But, I mean, even from that fight, I gained some moments, right? Making the right decisions at the right time. I took that from that fight, from him specifically. Josh is a solid fighter. He was throwing wild, so he's a sharpshooter. But, man, I knew I was claiming victory. That's what I decided to do. I made up my mind, and I just thank God, man. I'm doing what I love. But now I get to get out of here. I'm going to run up to Orlando and celebrate my little sister, which is a lot bigger than this. She, at the, what's it called? At West Point, United States Military Academy. Shout out to the F4 Frog unit. She just finished her acceptance day, which is from the time technically basic training. So to all the servicemen and women out there, now she starts her first year officially as a cadet. So we get through this, sprint up to Orlando, fly up there, celebrate her, and I'll be back.
And then congrats to your sister. And then one last question. So for those that don't know, you actually opened Impa's Refinery this week.
Yeah.
I know how much it means to you to not only, but to give back to the community when it comes to the knowledge you have gained. So how important is it for you at this stage in your career to have that gym?
My thing is, you're not a champion unless you want to build up other champions in life. That's in fighting, but outside of it, some of these kids, man, they've been turning their lives around. Some kids are getting to the gym at 6 a.m. before school. The gym is meant to be a beacon of hope, and that's it. I care if you want to be a top-level fighter. I will get on you, push you, challenge you, do everything that it takes to get there. More importantly, I want to see what God's going to do through your life. Let people know they're unconditionally loved. It's based off two things. Proverbs 14:23, all hard work brings profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. And then how long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself? And I ask them that every day in different ways. And these kids are rising up. So many of them were here. I'm so grateful, and I look forward to getting back in the gym with them on Monday.
Awesome. Love the chain.
Thank you. It's a little shiny for me, but I appreciate it, Celsius. I've never really, I usually have my cross, but this is cool.
Congratulations on making the finals yet again, back-to-back years. Beating the same opponent, which is kind of weird in itself, but I think that shows your development as a fighter.
Thank you.
What would you say you put on display tonight as that development?
I say IQ. We learn from lessons from the past. We, making a choice in the present. Great trainers, things like little adjustments before and after, before injury in the fight that my whole team did. I've been really focused more on my faith. Sometimes in life you can be on this faith journey, but people don't think it's like Christian doesn't mean perfect. Christian doesn't mean you make all the right decisions. So I've really just been focusing on that, and just knowing that when I'm healthy, I'm the best fighter in the world, and trusting God for that. And I got teammates who I want to be the best. I have teammates like Wynn and Delano and everybody. I say my goal is to be the best to ever do it, and I want your goal to be the best to ever do it. So we raise the standard, and that's what it's been. It's been a testimony of raising the standard in life, raising the standard in everything, and you see that tonight. Josh is an excellent fighter. I have so much respect for his dad. When I got knocked out by Buckley, the first person to talk to my dad was Conan, and I won't disrespect their household or their name. I think he talks too much, and it's that's what it was. I don't think he focused like he need to. You try to stare somebody down. I say, if you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk trash, talk to me when nobody's looking. Talk to me when it's off the cameras, because we could do it there. I think that too many times in this world we're so caught up on, we talk about mental health, we talk about just what you go through, and the second you see somebody, you want to break them down negatively. No, talk with your fists, talk with your hands. There's so many kids you see jumping off bridges that we don't know about just because they're not on the other side of the camera. What's that mean? For me, it's like, represent right, you know, because now you got to eat those words and think about what you said. I just want Josh to know he's not validated by that. Just like let that go, and you can be so much better. But you're so caught up in being angry and being a brat. It's not who he is. It's not. It's fake. And I think that, like, if you want to take it there, it doesn't matter if there's a cage. To me, and I think that we try to lead these kids down the wrong path, and then you see some kid get shot up because they want to open their mouth at the wrong time. Somebody going through a bad day, they don't care. They'll kill themselves and kill the person in the car next to them for no reason. And they watch us fighters. We're obligated, but people say, I used to have this guy, he would always tell me, say, you're obligated, but you're not obligated to the next generation. And it's true. Like, you can act like you're not, but before you know it, some kid gets shot up, and then they copy what you said. Like, calm down talking trash to the wrong people, because some people are crazy enough. You never know what that day they split. And then what are you doing? You're burying the kid because they try to copy you on TV. And I think MMA fighters, athletes do a terrible job of that. I saw during the Olympics, and I saw a guy talking about he goes through depression, then he's talking about all the people in his heat are going to be depressed. Who cares how much money you make, how many gold medals and champions you have, if you don't really care about people? People are going to make mistakes. I've made many mistakes, like life, relationships, whatever, money. It doesn't matter. But God loves you unconditionally. One thing that, like, really pisses me off is to see, like, fighters think they're all gangster and tough, and then when they do it, he tried to talk to me after the fight, say, oh, it's not personal, it's not this. Like, you say it's personal, it's not this, you want to beat the shit out of me. I'm quoting him, my parents got on me about swearing. It's like, what is it going to end? When you see 10 people kill themselves for what, right? You don't know what somebody goes through. You don't know what these kids go through. But I just, like, my standard is, like, be a champion in that ring, be a champion outside of it, and claim that victory because you see people fade, and that's what you saw tonight.
Thank you for sharing that truth, because we need it. One last question here before I take up too much of your time. Now that you're fighting for the belt again, and you're fighting for the championship again, how much confidence does that give you going into that main event?
I used to say this a lot when I started my career. My confidence is in me. It's in my Christ, you know? Like, I've always focused like this. Like, I don't need confidence. I need faith, right? Because you could have confidence and it could be wavering. You could have a rough day one day, and then something shakes and you're, like, not sure. Confidence is a very, like, shaky foundation. But my faith knows this. Like, no matter what, I'm going to step forward, I'm going to claim that victory and move forward with my life. So I'm definitely, you know, confident in who my God is. And I just focus on this. Like, I have faith that you'll see me with my hands raised in Saudi Arabia, PFL 2024 light heavyweight champion. And, man, whoever the winner between Johnny Eblin and Fabian Edwards is, I'll fight both of them. But I'm looking forward to that day.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about the lead up to the fight, because obviously there was a lot of trash talk, not on your end, but rather on Josh's end. You mentioned that it's like, all right, time to move on. Does it feel like closing a chapter for you now that you've gotten the win twice? And that's not to disrespect him, but does it almost feel like a book closing in a way?
I don't like to look at it like that. I think there's still so much for me to learn from this book and this chapter, right? Josh did some really good things tonight that I need to get better at and, like, see. There were some decisions I made in the fight that obviously helped claim the victory, but the things I probably could have done better that my trainers see. So I don't want to close the book and miss out on the lessons, if, you know, for what we're saying here. And you never know. I could fight Josh again, so I got to learn from the last two and get the finish in the next one. Because, hey, Josh, he's been staying in it. He's in the PFL. He's making his money, doing his thing. We could be the first matchup of the next year. We could be the last again. Or in the middle, or whatever it may be. But it's not closed right now. Like, what I tell a lot of Dieter and I talk, like, practice never ends. Like, what can I do to get better, right? And that's part of the notes I need to take from this fight.
And you're a guy that always loves to move forward. I was listening in on the pre-fight Zoom, and you have so many different ventures going on. Is there any possible kind of ventures we could see in the future from Impa? Because you got your hand in so many different hats here.
Yeah, we're entering a motorcycle film festival, Vana Moto Festival, with our media team, building out some cool things, going to tell a story like the spirit of the ride. I won't tell you the title yet because that's not official, but I just love motorcycles. I love riding, which I'm going to do this weekend, and just share. I think, like, what happens is fighters, like, just focus on fighting, just do this. You get told that. You see fighters at the end of the career, they're bitter being coaches or they don't have any money. Like, you should realize God made you a lot more complex than you think, and you should, you know, go for different things, especially when you're young. Maybe you fail here, maybe you do great here. But you'll find different things, and as I show you each fight, it continues. Like, keep claiming these victories. don't think that you can't do more because you do one thing. And that's for everybody. That's whether it's being in shape, falling in love, finding your faith, just journaling. Do something. I'm not saying you have to, like, for me, it's like I like to challenge myself and drive my trainers and team extremely wild and say, hey, let's do this last minute, which they do not appreciate. But never limit yourself. When I was little, my dad never let me say impossible or can't. Neither did my mom, and both of them never let me say that, and I'm living that life now.
Absolutely, you appreciate you.
Thank you.
Impa. You go.
Impa, good to see you. I have a couple questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Last year, before you started fighting for the championship in 2023, you were talking about what happened when you left the UFC, being homeless. Now you're $1 million richer, going for another $1 million. What does it mean for you to not just, one, go for the belt, but now be defending the championship?
I'm grateful, man. I just feel with gratitude. That's it. You know, I say, like, it's cool. Like, I've always seen myself as champion. Every single fight I always considered my first amateur fight, and I say considered my first title fight, one and the same. Got to be better, have to refine, continuously improve and move forward. See what my teammates say. Very grateful to be in the PFL, right? I got to stay active. I have friends who are top 5 in the UFC and all this stuff, and it's hard for them to get a fight and get work. For me, I get to be in the PFL, consistently get to work so long as I earn it and I move forward and I make that choice. So the fact that I'm here, the fact that they're building out PFL Europe, Brazil, Australia, all over the world now, Africa, MENA, it's cool because I can see other people's lives changing, and that's what matters most to me. Like, I'm going to go get that title. I'll get that $1 million. But it's like, what is it to gain the world and not have Christ, is what we say in our faith? It's like, what is it to gain the world and not have love or just see people do well? Like, I got my brother Delano here. Like, I have my cousins, people, like, those moments are more cool to me, walking my dog on just in the forest, right? Like, that stuff's cool. Like, you can make money in and out of title fighting. Probably make it faster outside of fighting, right? So, Robbie Lawler said this before they fight. He's like, you get paid to do this, the stuff they told you not to do when you're little. So go have fun. And that's the truth. Like, guys, vets who break it down simply. You get paid to do this, where any other time in the world you could get in trouble. So I'm enjoying every bit of it, every feeling, every bit. It's a blessing.
We were here in January for the PFL versus Bellator press conference. We had the chance to talk, and you were really looking forward to winning that belt against Evelyn. Fortunately, it didn't happen, but you bounced back now on the winning streak. Can you talk about that mindset you had to overcome that and get back to the championship?
Johnny Evelyn, excellent fighter. Made me better, right? That whole fight, I'm very appreciative of him. I won that fight. I could care less about the belt. That stuff will fade away. It's more about who won the fight, which means a lot more to me. And I think y'all get to know me now. Like, the record, I don't care what the judges say. I know what happened, and I respect them. To earn that opportunity again, to get that one, I'm very grateful, and I keep showing who I am. I know what I've done. I know what I'm doing, and it wasn't so much about the belt, the physical thing itself, or the accolades from people. I wanted to see, like, I had so many people say, don't take that fight, don't do this. You know who Johnny Evelyn, he's one of the best fighters in history, which he is. And I showed what I do. And, man, there's so much to learn from it. Johnny showed who he is. He's got, like, a great team, great trainers, great coaches. I feel like, I don't think we're not friends. We just don't talk in general. But I feel like in another life would be cool. He likes to be in nature and get out, and he's a little weird. So am I. So I think that would be cool. But in this industry, you need enemies as your coworkers, right? So, like, that's a cool blessing. My mindset is you keep moving forward. I was like, the reason I wear cowboy hat is like one day when I have my own ranch, I love when they say cowboy up, you always move forward, and no matter if the calf died or you had no harvest this year, you keep moving forward, you keep working and trusting God, and that's what it was. It wasn't like I just asked my trainer, Dieter, what'd you think? What can I do? My trainers, my teammates, got right back in the gym.
Last question for me. Now, forward looking, your opponent is from a gym you know very well, same type of coaches.
Right.
What are your expectations going to that fight?
I expect the best version of himself. Dovlet's a good man, respectful. A respectful fighter, is an awesome fighter, a good man, and I'm not looking forward to claiming that victory, right? I mean, it's funny, like, eventually you keep fighting these guys to keep taking them out. They're going to keep trying to crack the code. I'm going to keep coming up on top, keep claiming these victories. I think they're all awesome. We got an ATT fighter in here, but they're all good people, very sweet. Hopefully she's back fighting soon. Has been through a lot of adversity. I say this, like, I mean, I love the people from ATT. I think they're all cool. Like, I don't have an issue with them. Thank God they have another gym because all we just be fighting each other in the same gym. It's probably a little bit more awkward, right? So we already do that at Kill Cliff. I know that some of them fight each other there. So it's nice to have another camp over there. I mean, those people in Coconut Creek, that crew, like they're just people trying to figure out their life. I think we make it too big of this like fake rivalry of like, oh, these fighters, they just found a gym they walked into that they're accepted at. You're gonna be successful at Kill Cliff, you'll be successful at ATT, you'll fail at ATT, you'll fail at Kill Cliff. You got to find the place for you. Some people will train in the middle of nowhere and do great things. Some people are just themselves, and I think we gotta look at it like that. It's always this versus that. Why can't it be this and that? So yeah, I expect Dovlet and them to get on paper, study film, do great things, and come the title fight, I'll have my hands raised. That belt raised. Thank you.
Hey. Your opponent, well, you're someone that really just your motivation internally, right? But what is it about Yakshimuradov that maybe will make you wake up in the morning excited to go hit the gym?
It could never be him. That's the thing. It's like it's the one that I'm fighting. He doesn't exist. I want to beat him every day, and like it's honestly, how would I fight if I was leading Heaven's Armies? And I look at it like I got a lot of people to take out, right? And he's one of those guys like who's very good, but he's not my validation because really in PFL it's cool. Like you have an alternate. I could be so focused on this guy, and then all of a sudden the fight's not happening, and then you're like, what? I don't care. Like I could care less if Josh got exchanged 1 second before the fight. All I knew is at the end of the day I'm claiming victory with my hands raised, and I just look at like this big battlefield. All these warriors, you got to kill them all to get to where you need to go. And you don't get to pick who it is. They all got different skill sets, so that's it. It's not him getting me up in the morning because a person can pass away, then where does your motivation go? He could say he doesn't want to fight. Like, I don't put my future on somebody else's hands. I just say this like it's a verse over there, Colossians 3:23. Do everything you can as if you're working for the Lord. So if that's my standard, no person could ever reach that because technically you can't reach it. So it's like I'm going after this thing's almost non-existent, and I love that.
Awesome. Now, obviously, with the last year you got it done, you were able to help out a lot with your community, people around you. If you get it done this year, what are some of the other things you maybe want to go ahead and add on to that resume?
Time to build out PFL Africa, right? Francis, what's up? You know, like it's cool. Tani went to Africa. And I can't say enough great things about Tani because my team drives Tani insane. but we love her, and Gabby and everybody, and the whole PFL staff's amazing. So I know she was out there, but it's like I just see all these African fighters, and I don't care if you're African, Brazilian, like you're a human that God made. So it's like anywhere I can go to help fighters get better. I just like to travel the world and see these people like change their lives. That's what I like to do. Yeah, keep helping my family, get my parents down to Florida, support my sister, you know, like spoil her while she's in college, send her all like the snacks and stuff, and just like be doing Chilobos trek rides and retreats, so maybe I can sponsor people to just go on these different adventures and find some time and space. I was talking to a guy today at Best Buy. He's like, what's up, man? He's like, he was just inconveniences, right? And you never know, but he looks super distraught. And I was like, man, come to the fight. He came, I believe, and you never know what somebody's just about to throw it out, you know, throw in that towel. And I look at it like, just, we would say on churches, just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. I just want to help people, man. I want to see people not throw the towel on anything, quit on their dreams, quit on their life, on their families. So anyway, I can just be like a source of hope. I'm going to sit down with my team and see the best ways I can help people, but I got a lot of these kids at the gym right now who are going through different things, so sit down with them and talk with them and just say, hey, this is why we do what we do, but it's bigger than being on that canvas.
You push all of us for sure, so thank you.
Thank you.
I was wondering, with the fight last year and then now tonight, just what are your thoughts of, do you think Josh fought better tonight?
Yeah.
You fought better tonight?
Did you see him hit me?
I mean, he was coming after you. I know last year was 5 rounds,
Right.
3 rounds. And I know you want to finish. You said that.
Oh,
You
gosh,
always
I
like
want to finish.
I know that.
I know.
But
I'm
Josh,
with,
do you
yeah.
think you, because you're the fighter, I watch it, but what are your thoughts of Josh, how he came at you tonight, and then also how you also took this fight and won it?
Maybe both. I think I matured, you know, as a fighter, whereas before that, let's throw it out. Now let's be smart. I started making some adjustments in the fight. Josh himself, you know, to say he got better, it's like for something that he's done for so long, I expect more out of him. I think his standard changed when you have the first fight. He finished Sadabu got hurt in Salt Lake City, I was in the locker with him. He's talking to Rob through the TV and like, let's go, mother this. I'm like, Josh, just focus on who you are. This fight, you know, he's talking to me, staring me down. I'm like, you're so like losing focus. And he has such a good dad and team, and he's insulting them by that. So that's my message to him. I told him we can fight anywhere. We can even train together for all I care. We can fight again. Just like, don't do that to yourself, you know? I think that he made a choice to go for it more so than showing he's a better fighter. Because if he just sat down on some punches, he probably could have got better shots in. He committed to things. That was good. But it's like going for broke at every single time. And then he still lost focus, screaming in there. And like what I said before the fight, how's a fish get caught? If a fish get killed, he gets caught in that hook, right? He opened his mouth mid-fight and got hit with the hook. Look back and watch it. He's lacking focus. To me, respectfully, it's an insult to his dad and his team, because you're sitting in front of your dad, who I really respect, and you're taking it as a joke. Like, you're better than that, and I challenge him for that. Fight me in the parking lot, fight me somewhere else. I mean it. Your teammates here, tell them that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. His dad really encouraged me at a time in my career where many people may have never fought again. The first thing that his dad did was went to my dad, because he knows what that means. And for Josh to show up the way he is and just play around too much and just not be the fighter that he is, like, I'm disgusted by that. You know, you're in a fight and you think it's a joke to change your family's life. You say that's what it is, and you're, woo, that's when he got hit. And I saw it change. It's like, oh, shoot, don't do that. Like, say what you want. Like, we're Christians, we're people, but don't think this isn't a fight. You could die in there. What if that was the last time you fell? Then it's like, what? Because you wanted to joke around? I met his little brother. So I think he improved, but I think he lost focus and he needs to mature. And that's it.
And another thing I wanted to ask too was going into that third round, and just what were your coaches, yourself, your thoughts? One thing I thought too was you sort of stopped him, quieted him when you had him pinned up against the cage, and he couldn't do anything. And you used your strength and your abilities to do something like that. I'm just wondering how much the curtain you could pull back and tell us about the third round and your thoughts going into that and what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I got a great team in here. We trained a lot off the wall. Robbie Lawler, Delano, so smart, all these guys. It's a testimony to my team, but Josh doesn't learn until he lost the fight last year. I know he fades. He fades. These are the secrets. He fades. He's shown it every fight. He fades, he fades, he fades. And you hear the this, and it's like, he's on that cage, and he's not making choices. It was too easy to turn him. He's a collegiate wrestler. Like, you've been in a gym since you were little. You've seen people on the cage since the day you were in diapers, or whatever, how long he's been there. And it's an insult to the American top team. He needs to own up to that. Like, be better. I respect Johnny Edlin because he comes to fight. He doesn't talk. He wanted to take me out, and I like that. But he's like, let's go. Got better from that, and I look forward to that day I get to get in that cage again. But, like, just quitting. It's like, I can break you, yeah, for sure, but as a man, you're going to let somebody break you? That's insulting. Like, don't take the nice guy approach for just being soft. I think that he played too much. He lost focus, lost sight of where he is. Got too crazy, got too wild, lacked discipline. I took advantage of that. Last year in the world title, I had him against the cage, and I said, I'm a world champion in his ear, and he faded. Fighting's deeper than just throwing punches and knees and stuff. Kill that guy. And his spirit broke, his soul broke, and that's what we did.
What's up, Impa? Congrats on the win. How you doing?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. You got Delano Taylor by your side
My dog.
tonight, right now. If I remember correctly, you couldn't make it to Utah, right? He was busy or he was traveling for your last fight. So what does it mean to you to have him back by your side right here?
Oh man, Delano's the first guy that courted me at Kill Cliff when we were in Sanford. It's my brother. We've been through so many different moments together. When I saw him fight Rory McDonald in Wales, I was with him in the Dominican Republic. He's my family. He's my Jamaican brother, and he will let you know how Jamaican he is every single day. He finds a way. He took the day off just to help us get better, and like, he made some great points, man. Like, it's awesome having a teammate like that. You can be in some gyms, right? And then, like, they can probably attest at any big gym. Not everybody's gonna get along, but no matter what, Delano's been there, loving. We've been to church together. We've had good conversations. We've shed tears together, and you don't always get that. And then, you know, iron sharpens iron, so we always get better together. I'm looking forward to cornering him. I'm looking forward to see his life. And if you knew what this guy's been through, I would never wish that upon anybody. But he's shown a lot of love, kept showing up, and that's where I know one day you'll see Delano Taylor as a champion. Just give it some time.
The atmosphere in there was crazy tonight. Your teammate Elvin Espinosa got a huge pop, but I think none were bigger than the one you got, the reaction you got from the crowd before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. I feel like you've become a star before our very eyes in the last year, maybe a year or so. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're a star?
I feel like I'm a star. My mom says I am. So, if my mama says, I guess I can't argue. I believe with the PFL we become stars together, man. It's sooner or later stars in the distance, right? You see great legends, Sugar Rashad, you see Kamaru, Robbie Lawler, guys who are getting interviewed just like me. And I take a lot of lessons, inspiration from them. To say a star, I appreciate it, and I definitely see where the PFL's put me at the forefront. I'm honored, I'm grateful. I'm going from Challenger Series, being in my car, but I never want to get too big of a head. Like y'all, you know, you're doing what you love. It's an honor to have you here. Without you guys, I'm not getting asked any questions because I'm definitely not talking to myself that much. So we're doing it together, and I think we gotta. It's cool. I mean, people recognize it. Elvin Espinosa is one popular dude. If you go in Miami, every other restaurant, place you go to, someone's going to say they know Elvin, and they will let you know how much they know Elvin, and Elvin's an awesome guy. And I see why. To be a star, it's an honor, and I accept and I receive that blessing. But I also think there comes a responsibility with it, and if I'm going to be a star, I want to be challenged to do it better. You know, I want to be a star to help other people become stars. So I want to see PFL grow. I just want to see PFL grow. I don't want to see monopoly with the UFC. I don't want to be, oh, these fighters get paid this. I want PFL to do better in places too. Let's be real about it. PFL can show a lot of things, but they got to do better too. I'm blessed that this organization has given me the platform to show who I am and be who I am. And I'll carry that mantle, you know, with pride. So that's it.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I mean, can I ask one more thing on the topic of stars?